Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to our BayREN Business Program webinar. We appreciate all of you for joining us today, and we're excited to introduce you to this new program for small and medium business owners in the Bay Area. My name is Kristen Bellows, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. And before I hand this over to our presenters for today, I do want to review just a few housekeeping items. I want to mention up front that this webinar is being recorded for future use, and we'll also share a PDF of this presentation slide deck with all of the attendees via email after the event. Please be sure to note the GoToWebinar control panel, which is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. We encourage everyone to enter questions in our questions box throughout the presentation, and we'll answer those questions at the end of today's presentation. Now I'd like to introduce our speakers. Connie Malone-Jones is part of the BayREN Business Marketing team, and she's going to provide an overview of the program today. Maria Fields represents mCloud, the company that is providing our BayREN business offering, and she'll dive into more details about the program later on in the presentation. And as I mentioned, my name is Kristen Bellows, and I work alongside Connie and Maria on marketing for the program. So with that, I'll hand this over to Connie to get us started.
Thank you, Kristen. Welcome to the BayREN Business Workshop, everyone. Our agenda and what we will be reviewing today is as follows: BayREN Business Overview, Program Referrals, and Questions and Answers. The Bay Area Regional Energy Network, that we call BayREN, is a collaboration of 9 counties that make up the San Francisco Bay Area. BayREN is funded by utility ratepayer funds through the California Public Utilities Commission, as well as other sources drawing on the expertise and knowledge of Bay Area local governments. BayREN provides regional scale energy efficiency programs, services, and resources. These programs are designed to make it easy for homes, multifamily buildings, and businesses to save money and energy by upgrading equipment such as lighting, heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, and more. BayREN Business is an innovative new program that can help small and medium businesses upgrade their building and reduce operating costs by up to 25%. Small to medium businesses less than 50,000 square feet are eligible for the program. The best fit businesses for the program have an average monthly energy spend of at least $2,500 a month and are located in one of the 9 Bay Area counties. Businesses should be locally or regionally owned or leased buildings with an identified decision maker who pays the utility bill, because this decision maker will benefit from the upgrades. The program can serve commercial as well as municipal properties, including fitness centers, retail stores, restaurants, auto dealers, grocery stores, medical offices, and much more. Other ideal features are buildings with multiple packaged rooftop HVAC units and long operating hours. BayREN Business offers Asset Care from mCloud. Asset Care from mCloud will bring the power of data and technology to small and medium business customers. If you are interested in the program, you will work with the mCloud team to sign up for Asset Care, and their team will provide ongoing customer service. There are no upfront capital costs. Instead, Asset Care offers a low-cost monthly subscription that will help you save energy, reduce your ongoing operating costs, and free you from the day-to-day busy work of managing your facility. The benefits of Asset Care. Asset Care uses data and technology to help you manage your facility so you can focus on your business. Some of the benefits of upgrading to Asset Care solution include reduced energy and operating costs. By upgrading to Asset Care, you can reduce monthly energy bills by 10 to 30% and reduce your operating costs by up to 25%. Reduced service and maintenance costs and increased equipment life is another benefit of Asset Care. Asset Care helps identify equipment issues before they become emergencies, avoiding expensive maintenance costs. Asset Care can also help fix some problems remotely and reduce the cost of needed repairs. This service also increases equipment life. Asset Care offers 24/7 monitoring and customer service. The Asset Care team provides 24/7 real-time monitoring, and you will have round-the-clock access and control via the Asset Care online dashboard and mobile app. Improved indoor air quality. Asset Care can install air purification hardware and monitor the indoor air quality. Asset Care, how does it work? First, the mCloud sales team will perform a free site assessment and work with the business owner to decide which systems and equipment to upgrade, such as HVAC, lighting, and refrigeration. We follow up with a proposal outlining the subscription costs, which will cover the cost of the hardware, installation, and the ongoing energy monitoring and management. Once the customer signs up for Asset Care, mCloud will install the necessary hardware such as LED lights, smart thermostats, HVAC sensors, and the control and communication package. This hardware will enable the 24/7 monitoring and oversight of your facility from Asset Care's team of experts called the Live Operations Team. The Live Operations Team will monitor and optimize key facility systems, and they also identify problems to control operating costs and improve the comfort, health, and efficiency of your facility. Live Ops will also alert business owners if there is an issue with equipment before small issues turn into big problems. For example, Live Ops frequently has insight into HVAC equipment failures before the issue would be detected by anyone in the facility. Some issues can be resolved remotely, or Live Ops can help you schedule a service visit. This slide outlines how the installed building measures connect to a secure device for remote facility management. You'll see some of the hardware listed here that the program can install. The base package includes advanced HVAC controls, smart thermostats, building management system, device connectivity, and lighting upgrades where needed. Add-ons to include indoor air quality and refrigeration and/or temperature monitoring. Business owners have access to an online dashboard to monitor and control the systems, and you will receive a monthly report that summarizes performance and recommended steps to improve operations. The Asset Care Live Ops team will also communicate proactively with you based on insight into your system. The monthly insight could include improved maintenance, pending issues or repairs, suggestions for improved comfort, and indoor air quality improvements. Keep in mind, you don't need to know how to operate all these devices because the Asset Care team takes care of that for you. Long-term value of Asset Care. Asset Care brings the kind of service and technology to small and medium businesses that has been available to large businesses for some time. Smaller businesses often have a greater need for these services because the typical business owner is balancing many competing demands. One of the long-term benefits of Asset Care is that it prepares your business to take advantage of future changes to the California energy grid. Demand response programs where utilities offer time-based rates such as time of use pricing and peak day pricing will continue to play a significant role in California. The Asset Care service puts you in the driver's seat to take advantage of these variations in energy rates, providing long-term value, revenue, and cost savings. Asset Care brings you a partner in managing your facility, reducing your building management burden, allowing you to focus on running the business. Asset Care also provides an opportunity for continuous improvement by incorporating emerging technologies into the service over time. Next, I'd like to introduce Maria Fields from mCloud to discuss some of the additional program details.
Hi, thanks, Connie. Hi, everybody. I'm Maria Fields from mCloud, and I will talk a bit about how we work with customers to assess their facilities, and we'll also walk through some specific examples based on existing asset care customers. So the process starts with a meeting with an mCloud sales exec. And ideally, this would include a brief site visit. And with COVID receding, we're finding that's possible more and more. And this consultation is really designed to provide information for us on the customer facility, including specific equipment you have on site, how you manage your facility, your current approach to HVAC maintenance, any comfort issues in the building, things like that. And also just customer preferences around specific features of the offering, like indoor air quality. The questions that you see here are a subset of the information we'd be looking for. And as Connie said, most of the customers we work with are juggling facility management along with other aspects of running their business. So, and a lot of facilities are fairly siloed in terms of the way that, the amount of data they have and the way that they have trouble getting visibility into some of the aspects of their facility operations, especially the health of some of their HVAC and other systems. So ideally, this is a very interactive process, and our goal is to understand the business owner's pain points and to try to focus on resolving them. So once we've assessed the facility, we can return pretty quickly, usually within about 48 hours, with specifics about the benefits that we can provide and the subscription cost for the service. And this will depend, on the site assessment and the questionnaire that you saw on the previous page, and business owner preferences. The subscription has a 3-year term, and the incentives offered through BayREN allow us to offer the first 3 months free. And as you see here, this is kind of a typical facility. The asset care subscription is generally cash flow neutral based on utility bill savings. And so the way we think about this is you're kind of, you're really getting a subscription service. It's really paid for through savings, and you're kind of cash flow neutral on that front, and the business receives the other benefits that we're describing here, reduced downtime, reduced service maintenance costs, increased comfort, and increase equipment life. You're receiving those in addition. And our experience with customers over time has shown that the non-utility benefits tend to be very significant, and they may undervalue those going in, but they do tend to highly value those in real time. So once the customer signs the asset care subscription, we are generally able to install in about 45 days, sometimes less. So an example of how this live ops works in action is here. And a key goal of asset care, as Connie said, is really to bring data and technology to bear to improve several aspects of the way a business owner is running their facility. And an analogy that I use to describe the difference, because this is, kind of can be a new concept. Something that everyone can relate to is the way that automobile technology has changed over the years. And increasingly, if you're driving a newish car, it's a lot like driving a computer. And many newer cars have internet access. Just as an example, they can incorporate traffic data into apps that can help you route around problems in real time. Just as one example of how that functionality can work for a driver. And when you go to repair your car, the service tech can often pull in diagnostics to help you know how your car is running, and can really pick up subtle signs before they become obvious problems. And that's a big driver of just reliability in automobiles going forward. And and they're connecting to your car, but also many cars like it. And so the data is the kind of the data-driven approach really has power as the numbers get bigger. So all of this relies on connectivity and real-time data. And asset care and the live ops team operates in an analogous way. The system itself provides significant data and control capabilities, And behind that is both software and a team of experts who can use the data to support you. And that is really the live ops service. So we know a lot about how your systems are running, and ideally we can work hand in hand with you for sure, and facilities team you may have, and your HVAC contractor to support them with the data and insight that the system provides. So this allows customers to outsource a significant aspect of their facility operations to the live ops team, and it tends to take things off the plate of business owners, which is a key source of benefit. So a few examples of how this tends to work. We have preset alarms on each facility that are somewhat driven by customer preference and what we know about the building. The live ops team is alerted to any malfunctions before anyone on the site is aware, and can really intervene before problems become something that would result in costly business interruptions. So we get in touch immediately, depending on the severity of the issue. It might be a phone call or text or email. And we're not just looking at your facility, as I said, we're looking at many facilities and many HVAC systems. So we're able to provide the benefits of that big data. The backbone of the system will become increasingly predictive as more data is accumulated. So once an alarm is triggered and something needs to be done, we can remotely diagnose often, and when a technician goes out, we will probably understand what's wrong and what tools to bring, and we can also confirm that whatever fix was made resolve the issue, because we have that real-time data on the way the system is running. So that's just one example of how the system can operate in conjunction with the on the ground team. We also can run periodic remote diagnostics on systems, so we can do a bit of a pre-test before heating and cooling system season, and pick up any issues that may be looming, so that they don't become real issues in real time when you need the equipment. And we, one of the way we describe the facility maintenance is we're really turning what is typically a calendar-driven exercise on a kind of a regular schedule into something that is driven really by conditions on the ground, and that's really the heart of how the data is used. So the current asset care customer really has an experience of having about 3 and 4 customer interactions initiated by us, and that's really based on everything I'm describing. They have an extra set of eyes on their facility, and as I said, this tends to be highly valued over time. And the ability to outsource some of this worry and juggling is tremendous benefit to the business owners we work with. And for us, we have the ability to bring data and technology and bring these tools to help run things smoothly. So we track performance and report to customers monthly. This is just one screen of many that are in the platform. This same dashboard is available to our customers, although many don't really look at it as much as we do. For us, it's really a view into the vital signs of the building. So this is something that we spend a lot of time monitoring, and as I said, we have software and other optimization technology that helps us to track things. So one of the things I would point out here as well is that the dollar savings are generally higher than energy savings, and that's especially so for electricity. One of the reasons for that is, as Connie pointed out, is there are increasing drivers of cost through demand charges and other aspects of the way customers are being charged for energy, that we're able to to optimize and have work in your favor. And so these are things that we're able to pay attention to, and we sometimes describe the facilities we work with as being kind of future-proofed and grid-friendly and ready for this kind of dynamic energy system that's coming. And this is one of the ways that you see that benefit. So here is the mCloud team. I think they are gathered in an office in San Francisco, and very much, looking forward to meeting in person and being out there. And for me as well, hopefully we'll be able to be in your town and meeting in person. Very much looking forward to that. And in the interest of time, I think we're going to not do, introductions at the moment. There will be other, webinars in the future where we'll be, meeting other folks. But at the moment, I will pass it back over to Connie for more information.
Thank you, Maria. BayREN Business, let's get you started today. To get started, fill out an interest form located on our website at www.bayrenbusiness.org. An outreach representative will contact you to gather additional information and schedule your free energy assessment. And additionally, please keep an eye out for the mCloud field team in your area. We will be out in the field conducting neighborhood visits to businesses in the near future. For small to medium businesses that don't meet the criteria for this program, we have a referral program in place to direct to customers to other programs, financing, and additional resources that may be a better fit. If this applies to your business, your outreach representative will provide a handoff to our referral team. And one of the referral programs that I would like to mention today is the BayREN microloan program. BayREN has partnered with a Bay Area nonprofit lender called the Mission Asset Fund, or MAF, M-A-F, to provide 0% interest loans up to $2,500 for energy efficiency upgrades in small commercial spaces. The microloan program allows business owners to make low monthly payments and build a positive credit history. For more information, visit missionassetfund.org/BayREN. Please see our contact information on this slide. And now I will pass the baton to Kristen to moderate the questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Connie and Maria. I want to remind everyone at this point to please go ahead and enter any questions that you may have in our questions box, and you can access that in the control panel on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And we do have a few questions that have come in already. So I think this first question I'll direct to Maria. And the question is, does the monthly subscription include all hardware upgrade costs, or would those upgrades be a separate upfront payment?
Good question. And yes, the subscription is all inclusive. Something I didn't mention is that, it does include the entirety of the upgrade that we're using to, to upgrade the facility and facilitate the subscription service. And it also includes a full warranty to replace or repair all of the equipment we're putting in. So, that's really all wrapped into the service. And really the way to think about this is, it's not necessarily that we're installing this equipment for you to, run and kind of set it and forget it. It really is a service that's inclined to put us on the hook to develop and run the the upgrade that we're putting in, and really provide that as a service to you that brings you value. So it's very different in that way from traditional programs.
Great, thanks, Maria. And I wonder also if you could expand on that a little bit. And if mCloud were to go into a business that is in need of a complete HVAC retrofit, because the HVAC unit itself is at the end of its useful life, could you describe the role that mCloud would play in that situation?
Sure, that's another good question. And it does come up, where it doesn't make any sense for us to retrofit an HVAC system that is nearing end of life. It's not going to benefit anybody. So we will certainly know that. Sometimes the business owner knows that already, but certainly in our assessment of the facility, we would get to the bottom of that. And if that's the case, we can either, at the outset of the project or at some future point, we can support the business owner in replacing that HVAC system. And we have a network of contractors we work with. We can also work with an existing contractor that the customer may prefer. So in that sense, we're really kind of consulting and advising, and we can help select equipment that will connect into our system more easily. But we're really a consultant at that stage, and that would be either paid for by the customer or financed separately, because those tend to be larger capital expenses.
Great, thank you so much. Another question here. So earlier in the presentation, Connie, you mentioned that the small and medium businesses could include municipal buildings. So would a state agency that has a small office in the Bay Area qualify for the program?
Yes, I would think so. Maria, would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure, I think that was short and sweet. I think yes is the answer.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Another question, is the monthly asset care cost billed on bill through the utility company, or is this a separate invoice that the business receives?
That is a separate invoice, yes.
Thank you. We have a couple more questions here. And again, I encourage anyone who still has a question, we have time left here in the presentation, so please go ahead and add those to our questions box. So another question is, what happens at the end of your 3-year subscription? So does the customer need to renew into mCloud or something else?
That's another good question. So that at the end of the 3 years, the customer would have the option, would certainly know us well and know the performance of the system, and would have the option to continue the subscription. And one note I would add to that comment is that during the 3 years, we're experiencing about 3 out of 4 customers will have an additional installation put into their building, and the nature of this BayREN business program is for us to continue to have what's called continuous improvement. So we're looking to continue to drive down costs of various kinds at customer facilities, and will continuously monitor the facility and possibly add technology to the site, and that would tend to extend the subscription term. So that is the experience for most customers. But at the end of that 3 years, to the extent that it is just 3, you can continue with the subscription. You can also migrate to another service provider, and the equipment that we're putting in is using standard communication protocols. And I hate to use cable providers as an example of customer service necessarily, but it's similar in the sense that the equipment can be used by another provider. It's not like you have to replace the television and all the rest. So in that sense, you could migrate to another provider, and to the extent that you want to go back to manually operating your building, you can kind of go back to the way you started if that's preferred.
All right, thank you. One more question that we have, does the customer have to own the building? And how does this program work with different types of leases, such as triple net leases?
Yes, the owner, the beneficiary is really whoever's paying that utility bill. And so definitely an owner, if you have a long-term lease, that's also fine. I would say that it's very atypical for some of these older methods for billing customers for utilities, but those are the cases that can get problematic, where sometimes a property manager may not actually have a bill for a particular tenant on site. But that's pretty rare. But that would be the one example where it does become difficult for us to work with that customer. Then we'd have to work with the entire building and the building owner, which is possible, but it's just a little more difficult. So as long as there's a separately metered tenant and that tenant's paying the bill, that works.
Okay. So we've actually gone through all the questions that have come in so far. So I'm going to pause here for just a minute or two and give everyone an opportunity. If there are any remaining questions, please go ahead and ask those. So I'll give everyone just a minute or two to think of any additional questions.
And Kristen, one thing I would say is that if anybody has questions, sometimes it takes a minute, feel free to reach out. We're definitely here for helping sort through any questions about your facility or whether you qualify, any of the rest.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you for that. Okay, we do have another question here. Is the asset care cost directly tied to the energy savings, or is it more of a flat cost?
It's a flat cost, and it is fixed for the 3-year term. And so that is, it creates that predictability, but it is not necessarily tied to the savings.
Maria, could you talk a little bit more about the assessment that the mCloud team does when they go on site to evaluate the system? So the question is about kind of how extensive that evaluation would be, and are you visually inspecting the system to see if there are repairs needed? Could you talk a little bit about that experience that the team has when they're going into the building?
Sure, yeah, and that's a good question. We do, and what you saw was what we call a questionnaire, but it's a good way to explore customer preference, where the facility is at the moment, and and give us a good assessment of the current situation. So we're looking at utility bills, we're looking at existing equipment, information about the size of the facility, lighting upgrades, things that may have been done in the past. So some of that is it helps to have a visual walkthrough with the owner, and that's something that we try to do. And then what we really do is, going forward, once the system is installed, we're gathering real-time data on the building, and tend to have a lot of suggestions and information. And the way we describe it is, we get the building dialed in, and that really happens over a period of time. So there will be even more information learned about things like economizers and things which tend to have a pretty high rate of not functioning properly. So those are the kinds of things we will tune up and include in some of the early work we do on the site. So some of that is really after that initial high level assessment.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there any involvement in commissioning a building?
Any involvement?
I think like retro commissioning.
Yes, retro commissioning is kind of assumed to be part of what we're doing, because that's really the heart of the program is really to we're on the hook to produce this performance over time, and that's really why the data is really being put to work for the business owner, but also that's really how we're paid incentives is over time based on performance. And so that alignment really creates an interest on our part in continuous improvement, which means, in the industry terminology is retro commissioning. So we're continuing to fix, repair, and upgrade approaches to the facility going forward. And that's how that performance, which if you look at traditional, what I would call set it and forget it, where you're putting in equipment and walking away, that equipment will tend to drift over time and lose 33, sometimes even 50% when you're looking at HVAC systems. It can lose performance over time, and that's really the nature of this program is to try to eliminate that drift. So, and
Great,
one of
thank
the
you.
just going back a sec, this commissioning question, we also do what we call a deep dive on the building after this initial high level assessment and the customer decides to go forward. We do a deep dive on the system and learn a lot at that point. So it's not just when we're commissioning the system and gathering data going forward. There really is a very extensive assessment of the current status of the facility at the point of commissioning.
Thank you. We have a question related to the triple net leases and what an ideal situation would be like. So would the tenant need to get permission from the owner to do any upgrades if they're paying the utility bill?
Not typically. That is usually considered, the way that I describe it is within the use of the building. So when you have a lease, you're typically able to change, thermostats and things like that. Sometimes the business owner will request information on some of the upgrades and kind of technical sheets on what we might be putting in, which we can provide, but it's usually within the bounds of the lease to do this kind of upgrade. So it really is with the owner of the business and the payer of the bill. That's really where the benefit sits.
Okay, I'm not seeing any additional questions. So as Maria mentioned, if you do come up with any questions, please feel free to contact the phone number or email on screen here. And we hope to encourage you to fill out an interest form at bayrenbusiness.org. We really appreciate your time today. So thanks so much to everyone for joining us. And as mentioned, we'll follow up with a copy of this slide deck for your reference as well. And thanks to Maria and Connie for your presentation. And we hope to talk to you all soon.